Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is the dark room of the INFJ experience. When we are hurt, overwhelmed, or afraid of the outside world, we retreat into a mental feedback loop that feels like profound analysis, but is actually a sophisticated form of self-inflicted paralysis. We're going to look at why your logic, TI, is currently being used to prove why your intuition, NI, is right to be afraid. Let's get started. Have you ever spent 3 days analyzing a situation only to end up exactly where you started, but with 10 times more anxiety? You've mapped out every possible outcome. You've used cold logic to justify your isolation, and you've convinced yourself that you aren't avoiding life, you're just processing it. If you are an INFJ, you are likely trapped in the NITI loop. This is when your mind becomes a closed circuit. You have cut off the outside world, and now your thoughts are eating themselves. Today, I'm going to show you why your deep thinking is actually a defense mechanism and how to use the FE bridge to break out of your mental prison before you analyze your life into a total regret. To understand the loop, we have to look at your engine. NI, introverted intuition, your lead function. It sees patterns, visions, and the big picture. FE, extroverted feeling, is your growth function. This is connecting you to other people, external values, and the real world. TI, introverted thinking, is your third function. It's your internal logic and criticism. Normally, you take in a vision, NI, and test it against the world, FE. But in a loop, you bypass the world. You go straight from a scary vision, NI, to an internal logic, TI, that proves why that vision is true. NI says, nobody truly understands me. TI says, correct. Based on the data of the last 3 social interactions, humans are shallow. Therefore, isolation is the only logical choice. Congratulations, you've just used logic to build your own jail cell. The NITI loop is seductive because it feels intellectual. It feels like you're being a philosopher, but in reality, you're just being a hermit. Without the ventilation of extroverted feeling, FE, your thoughts become stale. You lose the ability to see that your data is biased. You become hypercritical of others and even more hypercritical of yourself. This is where the INFJ nihilism comes from, the belief that you have seen the truth, and the truth is that nothing matters. But you haven't seen the truth. You've just been sitting in a dark room with the curtains closed for too long. Here is the tension. You stay in the loop because the external world, FE and SE, is unpredictable and painful. People are messy. Reality is clumsy. In your head, NITI, everything is perfect, even if it's perfectly miserable. You have chosen the certainty of sadness over the uncertainty of joy. In a moment, I'm going to reveal the 3-minute circuit breaker, the exact physical and social action that forces your brain to stop looping and start living. The only way out of the loop is externalization. You have to get out of your head by getting into the tribe. For an INFJ, this feels fake or shallow at first. You think, I don't want to go talk to people, I'm busy thinking. But that is the loop talking. Your extroverted feeling, FE, is the bridge to sanity. It requires you to talk to someone else, not to analyze, but to connect. Help someone. Shift the focus from your internal problem to someone else's need. Express the thought. Write it, speak it, or create it. Once the thought is outside of you, your TI, logic, can actually look at it objectively and realize how irrational it was. This week, if you find yourself spiraling into deep analysis that makes you feel paralyzed, use these circuit breakers. The 5-minute vent. Call a trusted friend. Don't ask for advice. Just say, I'm in a loop. Can I just talk at you for 5 minutes? Hearing your own voice say your theories out loud often exposes how silly they are. The act of service pivot. If you're stuck thinking about your failed life, go do something for someone else. Buy a stranger a coffee, volunteer, or help a neighbor. This forces your FE to activate, which automatically shuts down the NITI feedback loop. The loop is purely mental. Break it with the physical. Take a cold shower, go for a sprint, or cook a complex meal. You cannot be in an NITI loop while your body is reacting to cold water or physical exertion. Your mind is a beautiful place to visit, but it is a dangerous place to stay. You were not given this depth to keep it in a jar. The world is waiting for your insight, but it can't hear you if you're shouting at the walls of your own skull. Cross the bridge. Talk to us. We need you out here.